Hi there, knife people. Hello, lady and gentlemen. Tonight we're going to do a quick, sweet unboxing. I have news for you. I do my unboxings in the reverse order. I start with the most important things about the knife, or at least what I consider the most important things, and then in the end, I'm showing you the actual unboxing. So we're going to go through stages. Stick around. It's going to get serious because ahead of us is the hardness test on the blade and also a microscope close look at the edge. So, to me, any knife starts at the blade, or specifically at the very edge, but a good edge cannot be achieved without good heat treat. To disassemble or to remove the blade from the knife, I'm not going to do a full disassembly. I'm using this Work Pro tool set. This is very similar to Sato tool set that I've used before, but it comes for about $7 or $8 cheaper. So I highly recommend it because functionality is the same. The link will obviously be in the description, and my Amazon affiliation will help my channel if you purchase this screwdriver. I appreciate that. The driver bit I'm using is T10, and then I simply remove this pivot screw in the pivot and pull the blade out, and the washers come out as you just saw. This is S45 VN blade, an American steel made by Crucible Industries company, and it's a powder metallurgy steel. It was developed for Chris Reeve Knives Company, and it's supposed to be tougher, but has same edge retention properties as S30V and S35VM. In front of you is my Lieb style tester. It is calibrated recently, reads spot on. In fact, it has plus or minus zero point 0.2 HRC accuracy, as opposed to the very best Rockwell testers that come in at about 0.5 HRC. So I am testing by placing the blade with the underlayment of the incompressible gel that ensures a full contact between the thin metal of the blade and a heavy block of metal underneath, takes out any air pocket. And I'm getting 5 strike average here. And sometimes if I see that among the numbers there were an outliers, like this one, 66.4 clearly is an outlier, I correct for it. I remove that out of the average, and so average of remaining 4 strikes was 61.7. Here I'd like to mention that on their website and on some of the retail websites, Benchmade advertised this knife to have a blade at 60 to 62 HRC. And as you can see, this particular blade is approaching the higher limit of this range. I would also like to point out that some of the tables that are constructed based on Dr. Laren Thomas's research, tables you see on multiple websites like Blade HQ, Steel Ratings, and so forth, they are compiled using S45EN hardness of 61.5. S45EN is by no means an easy steel to heat treat. It has to go through multiple stages in its heat treat cycle. So bravo to any manufacturer who gets it right. And now I'm doing the second series of strikes here, and my average is 61.3. No outliers in this one. So average is 61.5, right where I like it. Without good heat treat, it would be very hard to properly sharpen the knife, form the secondary bevel, and then maintain the edge. So this one is marked select edge, which is Benchmade's term for actually putting a reasonably good edge on the knife. And here it is under microscope. The difference between their regular edge, and I'll show you the regular one in a second, and the select edge is they use a finer grit here. This is probably 400 plus grit size, and they strop. They strop the knives. I think they strop them on the wheel, paper wheel strops. And for comparison, here's their supposedly quote unquote premium bug out with carbon fiber and S90V, and that's what their standard edge looks like straight out of the factory. This is a factory edge, which I keep factory because it's in my sort of display collection. And I use that collection for reference in the videos like this one. So bravo on the shaping of the secondary bevel, or what we call edge. And let's look at the apex. So I'm holding the blade vertically, orientated with the apex toward the lens of the microscope. And on my iPad, you see a beautifully formed apex. So it's going to be a pretty sharp knife out of the box. So if you're not a type of person who likes to sharpen knives, which S45EN is not too hard to sharpen, it's a good sharp knife. Will it pass my paper towel test? Unsupported paper towel from a cheap Walmart roll. It cuts in. It's not super fast on the slices, but it does break through the edge of the paper and makes a continuous cut. So we'll call it a pretty darn sharp knife. And that's a technical term. So let's compare it to the actual original Taggedout, which has a 3.5-inch blade, while this one has just a smidget over 3 inches. And for comparison, here is the Mini Griptilian, which is quite a bit smaller in the handle and the blade at the first glance, but turns out to be not that different in size. And here's a full-size Ritter Hogue, or in this case Griptilian, that is basically very close to the size of Mini Taggedout. Here's the bug out, and here's a mini bug out. And you can see that the bug out, the full-size bug out, has a slightly longer blade, less than 1/4 of an inch longer. And the mini bug out has a significantly shorter blade here, which I'm apparently forgetting to measure. Let me correct this. Yeah, so it's under 3 inches. So that's not that much difference. Where the new Mini Taggedout takes the cake, it's perfectly sized for a medium-sized hand. I have a pretty average medium-sized hand, and it fits perfectly. It doesn't constrain, doesn't press in my fingers, and nothing is overhanging. Here it's more of a 3.5 finger grip on the mini bug out for me. So, and like I said, medium hand, I wear a medium-sized glove. Here's a famous Para 3, came out first, and the Para 2, which I just compared it to. So appears to have the same blade length as the Para 3, but has more edge than the Para 3 due to its large finger choil there. Size-wise, they're very comparable, and they will probably feel identical in the pocket because they're about the same thickness. I think Mini Taggedout is a little dressier with its aluminum accents on the blade and in the lanyard area. And let's compare it just in case you're wondering about bug out comparison. I forgot to do that. It's thicker than a bug out by a small percentage. And here's a large Adira, a new water series, and a small Adira, or mini Adira. And as you can see, mini Adira is a perfect size match to the Taggedout, and the full-size Adira dwarfs it. I have to say that full-size Adira is a very functional knife, and the small one is more like a Griptilian, also a very good knife. And here's a Mini Freak. This is S90V version. They're also very similar in size, and obviously makes full-size Freak a significantly larger knife. I would be remiss if I didn't compare this more or less premium knife to a more budget-friendly quality knife. And for that, I picked Kershaw Iridium and Kershaw Mini Iridium. As you can see, it's very close in size with Mini Iridium. Has near identical ergonomics and near identical functions, including lanyard loop. And obviously the full-size Iridium is slightly larger. Not as much differences between that and the large Freak, but it's a larger knife. Let's check out the blade thickness on the Mini Taggedout. And it comes to 94 thousandths of an inch. Same as on the large Taggedout. Good news, because I 3-stab tested the large one, and it passed with flying colors. And the bug out, in S30V, I did the same test and it survived 25 strikes. All of these knives survived 25 strikes on an oak tree. And obviously, Mini Adira has a much thicker blade that's coming in at almost 120 thousandths of an inch. Let's see how it all translates into weight. Time to put it on the scale, starting with the Mini Taggedout itself. It comes under 2.3 ounces as compared to the full size, which is weighing in at 2.9 ounces, which is a pretty incredible weight to size ratio. It's not as good of a ratio as on the bug out, which weighs in at 1.9 ounces, but ergonomically, bug out is inferior due to sharp edges on the scale. And the mini bug out weighs less than the earwax that comes out of my ears after a long hike. Mini Adira is actually heaviest of the knives that I'm showing in this segment, but it's super ergonomic. It's rivaling Griptilian in its ergonomics, and so does the large one. And then the 2.4 ounces, Para 3, is just this tiny smidget heavier than the Mini Taggedout, and add another ounce for a Para 2. Let's look at Mini Iridium. Again, just a smidget heavier. I'm surprised because it's aluminum construction, and this one is actually feels heavy in comparison to bug out, but it's not a heavy knife. Back to reassembling the knife now. I skipped around a little bit to keep my promises of addressing the most important things first. So now I'm going to demonstrate how I put the knife together. First, I insert the pivot so that it sits just a hair proud of the inner side of the liner, and then I drop in the washer kind of like a ring on a peg, and it sits on that pivot. Then I bring the blade in and I hold the washer in place with my thumb, as you can see here, and I just press them in the slot there. I think I had my pivot too far in, so I pulled it back just a hair without releasing the washer. You kind of have to get the feeling right, and my index finger in my left hand is pressing forward on the pivot so it does not fall out, because sometimes they stay in but sometimes they fall out, so you don't want to take that chance. And now that you're pushing the blade in, all you have to do is line the hole on the blade with the pivot and it will pop in, and then you line the washer with the pivot hole, and the rest of it will pop right in. Now you're ready to put the screw in. That's as easy as 1, 2, 3, or maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. T10 driver bit. In eye tightening, I'm torquing it. On the T10, torque is about 22 inch-pounds. It's not very heavy. But then I'm holding the axis lock back and I'm loosening the blade, trying to let it drop shot. It's a brand new knife, so I saw burrs on the washers, not burrs like the edges are sharp on the washers, haven't worn in yet. So here's right around where I want my tension on the screw to be. And for the, brevity of this video, I did not put Loctite, but I'm planning to take it apart anyway and polish the washers, and then I'll put Loctite on my screw. It fixed the centering that was just a hair off out the box. I think they might have over tightened the pivot from the factory, so check it out. And this is how I unbox my bench. You don't have to cut the seal, and if you don't want to, you just sort of tear the box apart. If the box doesn't get damaged and the seal stays intact. And here's what I'm talking about. Looking the knife over, immediately I noticed that the blade is to the show side of the scales a little bit. And here's the, so Benchmade never drop shotty from the box, which is absolutely of no importance to me personally, but may be important to some of my viewers. So the conclusion is Benchmade outdid themselves this time. They gave us a very decent heat treat and a beautiful edge on this knife. As it's as good as I've seen on a Benchmade in both categories. The functionality was already there. It's a cross between a bug out and a mini Griptilian, really, or Griptilian. And the full size Taggedout as I mentioned in the beginning, it's my personal choice for the 2023 knife of the year, not MSI. MSI is just too big to be that and had some issues. Anyway, I digress. And also, as I pointed out earlier, if you already own some of the Kershaw products, they're extremely competitive in that area. I personally don't appreciate Bel Air as much as I appreciate Iridium and Mini Iridium. I know Bel Air USA made, but whoever designed it is still in a learning curve, I think. No bash against him. And I'm definitely going to say this. If you choose to switch from Iridium to a mini tagged out or full size tagged out, you're not really gaining much in functionality because toughness and edge retention wise, D2 in Kershaw's rendition and S45 VN in Benchmade's rendition will be on par. Where S45 VN is better is corrosion resistance. So in my corrosion resistance videos, I showed you that the blade itself make less difference than the overall knife composition, and that's a topic for a different discussion. I will consider subjecting the mini tagged out to the dehyperator test later. Stay tuned.